So well done to Archie and the crew.
It's so good to see the Mazfix crew going A to B here at Willowbank Raceway for the Gold Coast and Oils Internationals, closing out qualifying in Factory Extreme as we begin to bring our pro classes forward. We're going to give the track a bit of a spray, bit of a track groom going on.
Nothing better than a bit of rotary action. A rotary love in the house.
No, that's all right. So that's tropical slushy.
That will also mean it's time for a commentary change as we bring the marker up and
Waiting for us.
to the commentary team.
Back shortly. There we go, we're back.
Certainly are. We're going to jump off and let these boys do the deed.
But before we do that, number one qualifying Factory Extreme will be Frank Tarabay with that 6:29. Colin Wilshire with a 6:47 is in second, followed by Archie's 6:66 with a 5 from earlier today. Dion Amato's in fourth. He went 7:86 at 113 miles an hour. And Jerry Keel rounds out the 5 with an 8:39. And get this, a whopping 180 miles an hour. So he's got the horsepower to get down through the finish line. It's just a matter of getting that start line sorted. We'll be back underway with more pro classes qualifying very, very shortly. Joining me on the microphone, joining the microphone team will be Mark Allen and Rusty Gregory very shortly.
Whether you're building a stream machine or a race car, Aeroflow Performance has a solution for you. Our ever-increasing range features boosted turbocharger systems, Bosch Motorsport products, extra electrical systems, hoses and fittings, backshift shifters, differential parts, and fabrication components. You can see it all on aeroflowperformance.com.
Where's it picking up like there or there? I don't know. That's one thing I don't know. I think so.
Yeah, you get time to think about life's big questions, like where do all flies come
What is
from?
that again?
The trains of thought and destination. And another thing, how does an engine keep going out here? Well, that was an easy one. We are about to roll the pro categories out. We did it earlier at midday, Brodie Ingerson, but this time a couple of bonuses.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to see the Pro Slammers do their compulsory sighting laps. Also the first time out for Pro Alcohol, which is exciting. We're going to see, obviously, Championship leader Justin Walsh, Stephen Reid, and of course multiple Internationals champion Gary Phillips in that category. Looking forward to it. And then, we did tease this earlier in the day. It is the first time this weekend that we're going to see the Top Fuel funny cars take to the track later.
Not originally scheduled, so that is really, really good news. Massive bonus for everybody coming out here on a beautiful Friday. It went warm, now it's chilled out a little bit, now we are good to go. So let's go outdoors. Rusty.
Thank you very much, Benny. And you're right, it's starting to cool a bit out there now. The wind's starting to pick up at the moment. It's a headwind, which is probably not going to worry these races too much, Mark Allen. No, if it gets any stronger than this, it might start to come into play with some of the tune-ups.
Yeah, I think they're probably okay at the moment. They might look at the rear wings or something with the downforce side of things, but the headwind won't probably affect them too much at the moment. I think right now they're probably thinking more about the track itself. They've got a bit of data for the teams that came out in that first session, the Pro Mod and Pro Stock and the top bike guys, and that they've got a little data from that Q1. I'm surprised we'll see a few teams swim for the fences here. In these conditions, the sun out on the track, it is cooling down. It's pretty much right now is flying the country in terms of what you're trying to do with the cars. The best track conditions that you're probably going to get. Not necessarily across the whole weekend, but certainly the best conditions today. In terms of the actual racing surface as well, we touched on it before, the track temp came up about 8 or 9 degrees in the space of an hour. So as the sun got right over the top, it got to the peak of the day, and what that does, it actually puts the heat not just into the top of the racetrack, but it actually puts the heat into the racetrack. So as it starts to cool off this afternoon, as this wind starts to pick up, theoretically this racetrack should hold a little bit of heat, which is going to be great for the professional categories that are running at the back of this session. You're right, you've nailed it. The track will pretty much get better every pass, every day, right throughout the day until obviously it gets too cold or whatever. But right now, still the best conditions we've seen today, best track conditions we've seen today. It will only get better throughout this session. It will get better again tomorrow and again in the last session of qualifying. But right now, I think just theoretically I think we might see a few teams swing for the fences because there are still 2 more sessions to get in the field. If they miss it here, they'll put another 2 sessions. These are the best conditions. Didn't actually make the pass, so he will be alongside Zoran Gajic, which I think was actually a matchup last round. I think you're right, it was the scheduled matchup.
How's the wind, guys? I hope I'm fucking up the audio too much.
Because at the moment he is outside the field across the centre in that last session of qualifying. And it's very unusual for this guy because Zoran is a very experienced driver. He's got a very, very consistent car underneath him. So to see that car do what it did, that's a little bit of a surprise. It really is, but rectified here. They know how to run those exactly those cars. They can get to that field. No doubt about it. The 3 cars in the top end zone already.
Bit of a famous car here.
6 in the session as well, which is getting taken off that qualifying as well to find out exactly what happened there. Is that number qualifying pro qualifying that 590? Tony Whitlock moving forward, didn't get out in Q1. Something with the car, but he's here now going into stage, so that's a step ahead of where he was. PB to 630, they've got bigger turbos on the car this weekend, looking to make some more horsepower running into the low 6-second zone. Zoran Gajic, points leader in a program of moving forward, not in the field at the moment. A little bit of pressure on the steam, just a little bit, not much, but it's a little bit, in the back of your mind. Back with points leading, there's always going to be a target on your back coming into this continental event. It's the biggest event of the year, so you've got to think that really is the shoots out nice and safe at the other end of the racetrack. Zoran Gajic just drove into a power standard half track. I think that was actually the wheelie bars touching the ground, that little puff of smoke. That was insane. I cannot wait for the replay of this class with Zoran Gajic. That thing just lifted the wheels up at half track. Look at the speed though, 254 mile an hour, 400 kilometers per hour there for Zoran Gajic. Look at the replay, Rusty. It did pedal the tyre pretty hard early on in the run, and that is a sensational ball driving from Zoran Gajic. It pedaled the tyre, he had to pedal it. As he's pedaled it, it's actually come right up on that rear end. He's lucky it was pointing straight, because if it wasn't pointing straight, it would have gone wherever it was going to be going. But you know what, that's a great run for Zoran. And a 594, it's not as quick as what they would have wanted to go, but it's a banker.
Pretty sure I have to start streaming again to do that now.
To take it. That's incredible. Like the pedal is going to cost you at least, depending on how quick you go, 400 or 500 at least. And that's a little bit legitimate. Probably costs it to a tank. You throw it on a couple of Next up is Jeremy Callahan in this absolutely gorgeous Camaro. This is, I don't like our favourites, but this is without a doubt one of the most stunning race cars that's hit the racetrack in the last 15 years, I would say. It is absolutely a work of art. He's going to be taking on Stu Walsh in the Camaro this time around. And Stu Walsh currently sitting in the number 5 spot for 6:43. Callahan already into the 5 seconds over the 5:91.
But we'll be looking to improve on that. He's only got 600 so now we've done 595 being that fixed index. Spare camera on the 5 is all about that 5.85 second elapsed time. The basic rules. If you've just joined us for Track Pro Mode, get to the finish line first, 5 seconds, you're the winner. Yep, use whatever combination you want to do that 5 seconds in. As long as you're in the center and you don't go quicker than it, that's it. Yeah, whatever you do, don't go 584. If you go 584, you're going to be in trouble. So, Jeremy Bellahan laying up left on the screen. So you're
Bit of merge.
what do you get a set around Track Pro in what is some of the best racing conditions we've seen for a number of years. Absolutely gorgeous here at the moment. The tricky part is getting these cars off the way. Something like a boost leak or something going on for Stu Walsh, because he didn't actually bump in on the bump box that time around. He just rolled in, tried to bring the boost up, and for whatever reason it wasn't going. But we've got Bryony at the top end of the racetrack yet again, down to you.
Was on, they say if you can't be fast, be spectacular. I think you were both right then. Talk us through that.
Left the line good straight this time compared to the first one. And then that hard track, all the power came in and just picked the front end up and just straight right up where they take the foot zip.
That's impressive. They're talking about it in the commentary box. One of the runs of the weekend. How are you feeling though after today?
Oh, very good. So that 2.5 today, the first one didn't go how we planned, but the second one was, I think it's pretty good. So should be good. Another 2 tomorrow. Leading up to race day on Sunday.
It bodes well for a good winter, Nat. So all the best for that.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Is that right? Can't
He's
change
such
the
a nice
title of the
guy.
video
He really
without
is.
stopping today.
He's just a very laid-back kind of guy who loves his drag racing, but man, he drives that thing like an animal, doesn't he? I think he was hoping to hear what it ran. 594. Alrighty, if you can still hear us, let Zora know. It was a 594. One man who'll be looking to run a little bit quicker this time around is Greg Sakaridis, who's going to be up next in the ICE Group Mustang. Great looking car, this one. And he's our number 3 qualifier at the moment, around a 593 in Q1. These guys will definitely look to improve. I'm sure they'd be happy if they could run like in the 580s to get that the burnout procedure. Now, I actually touched on this earlier today. This is one of the quickest sedans in the world. Yep. We've seen this guy go into the 550s at well over 270 miles per hour. He doesn't need to do that this weekend. This is all about going out and being as consistent as he can, knowing how the car performs and trying to hit that 585 index. We know he can do it. We've seen him go 585. I'm pretty sure with a 0 before in competition, which is about as close as you want to go without going under, because they've got the dial-in tuned up pretty well. They've got Brian Vick from CB Performance, who have always done the work on this car.
Yeah, you too.
Drivers in the scene, and they know what this thing performs. For them, it's, I guess we'll call it a challenge, trying to slow the car down by almost 3/4 of a second. Maybe it's 5,000 horsepower. You've got to slow this thing down by 3/4 of a second to get it into the ballpark of that 585. And that sometimes can be almost as big a challenge as making them go quick in the first place. Especially when they bring that power brand back in. And then it becomes susceptible to unloading the tyre, having so much power come in. So it's just all about gradually inputting the power back into the track. So usually that's not where you want to be. I don't know whether he got set up, but there was a big puff of smoke out of the car, and that's not usually a good thing. Rolls out to a 676 at 152 miles per hour. He didn't get perilously close to that centre line down there. Doesn't really matter though, because he didn't improve on his previous best of 93, but either way, we don't need to see any more cones knocked down today. We've seen a lot.
bit of a target for those half-track ET cones today. Has anyone checked there's not a magnet in it or something? I don't know. It's a little bit of replay here, got flying pretty cleanly. 101 to the 60, not exactly as quick as what we would have expected, but these cars really make their speed on the top half of the racetrack, not necessarily on the front half. Now, the smoke doesn't help us trying to see if he actually touched the centre line there or not, but I tell you, he was getting close. It was more a bit of a gradual move over towards the centre line than a big move. He just sort of pointed towards that way and just gradually went over there. I don't know, I think Greg might have just backed off once he realised he was on the line there. And that's when we saw the puff of smoke. But Greg Zacharias in Q2. We'll see Promod back out here again tomorrow for Q3 and Q4. Next up, it's two of my favourite cars in the Promod class. It will be Barry Watson, all the way from New Zealand in the Camaro. Please let's get through him to the next procedure. For a 609 this time around, 224 miles per hour. The car was walking around a little more than it was earlier on, and unfortunately for Peter Gratz at 11.72, that's not what he would have been looking for after that 600 from earlier on today. He actually pulled to the 64 in his early time, so he picked up points there, 103 to 64.
They went through my earplugs there.
76 in the 64.
Yeah, it's massive.
Probably not real good for streaming, mate. It's probably scaring a lot of people away.
Looking at the replay, let's just see if we can see it from Peter Gratz to the left off screen.
That's not right.
He had a big move there, about 300 foot, the car kicked out on him, which is why he's lost a little bit of ET. I couldn't see what happened with Peter Gratz there, but Barry Watson keeps that number one spot. After the other here in Pro Modified, we've still got one more driving to come forward, which will be Colin Walshy and Neil Murphy.
left on the
A rematch of Q1, where we had a bit of a moment, Rusty. You could call it a moment. I don't know how these guys might describe it, but it was definitely a moment in time that caught their attention. Neil Murphy, unfortunately for him, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on which way you look at it, he had to back out of the front because he had an uninvited visitor into his lane. We'll come back to that one shortly. Benny, you'll get there and stuff.
Expecting that first one, just disappointed that they were able to do it. I think too, Jamie McKinley just
5.75 second pass. They will be ecstatic. Croatia goes 5.96 beside him. Rusty, the pass of the day. Side by side 5.96s, and that was probably the one that both of those guys were on earlier in the day. That's a fantastic run for both of those guys. For Neil Murphy, they cut went 3.95 to half track and only 224 miles an hour at the finish line. So I think
they got two people watching now.
in fact, you can see there the shoots were out early, and that will slot both of those guys solidly into this pro mod field. And I think that will leave Peter Gratz as the man on the outside looking in. I think, yeah, Peter Gratz and maybe Tony Wedlock there on the outside looking and going into day 3 of the Professional Internationals. But wow, what a way to finish off from both Colin Wilshire and Neil Murphy. It's incredible. Let's have a look at the replay one more time.
It's going to drop out soon.
We're sharp on the tree as well.
got
They
7%
both
left
do a
on
little
the
bit of
GoPro.
driving there.
Hey?
Got 7%
Driving
on the
around
GoPro.
again. And Benny, we're going to go Eddie on the start line.
Yeah, it was hard to...
And that's also credit to the boys in our team right now. From we had a bit of oil that was on the track, so we just left it exactly the same. We thought we were a little bit quicker. We're really happy with that.
Nice work, mate. Let's go down the deep end.
Neil Murphy, congratulations, 5.96. That's awesome effort.
I'm really happy with that. That's the 6th time we've had the car on the track, a new car. Almost makes up for the new paint we're going to get, but I'm very happy. Thanks to the boys, thanks to the time we've had together, thanks to Jerry Field. Very much.
What's your welcome to the show?
That's cool. That's cool. Thanks very much. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, Ben.
Looks like he's had some trouble selecting a gear and around about half track there, coast across the line for an 829 at 120 miles per hour. He actually was pedaling it, twisted the throttle a couple of times trying to get that bike to go, but unfortunately for whatever reason, sounded like it wasn't changing gear. And that's a little bit disappointing for them because at the moment they are the number one qualified with a 770, and that bike's looking good this weekend.
It was looking really strong on the line. She said the 64% sold there at 118, half track under it was sub 5 seconds. It was definitely on another 7-second pass. But as we look at the replay here for Andrew Babcock, you can see the wheel up in the air there just as it goes across half track, and that's when he had the issues there. Is that either couldn't shift into top gear or whatnot, we're not too sure. But pretty much once they roll off the throttle, that's it for the bike riders. It was just a bunch of smoke coming out of the bike as well. A very, very faint hint, so I'm hoping it's nothing too serious, but these bikes are so finely tuned and so precise in everything that they do. On the Johnny's Hot Shot Suzuki, taking on the Skyway. Lawrence House home.